यो हन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् यं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञा भक्तिविनीतयः विहिक्तिश्चापि वृता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। 39 मध्यप्राणं सुषुप्तौ स्वजनिमनुविशन्त्यग्निसूर्यादयोऽमी वागाद्याः प्राणवायुं तदिह निगदिता ग्लानिरेषां न वायोः तेभ्यो दृश्यावभासः भ्रम इति विदितः शौक्तिकारौप्यकल्पः प्राणायामव्रतं तत् श्रुतिशिरसि मतं स्वात्मलब्धौ न चान्यत् नोकस्मादार्द्रमेधः स्पृशति च दहनः किन्तु शुष्कं निदाघात् आर्द्रं चेतोनुबन्धैः कृतसुकृतमपि स्वोक्तकर्म प्रजार्थैः तद्वज्ञानाग्निरेतत् स्पृशति न सहसा किन्तु वैराग्यशुष्कम् तस्मात् शुद्धो विरागः प्रथममभिहितः तेन विज्ञानसिद्धिः यत्किञ्चिन्नामरूपात्मकमिदमसदेवोदितं भाति भूमौ येनानेकप्रकारैः व्यवहरति जगद् येन तेनेश्वरेण तद्वत्प्रच्छादनीयं निभृतरशनया यद्वदेद्विजिह्वः तेन त्यक्तेन भोज्यं सुखमनतिशयं मागृधोऽन्यद्धनाद्यम् जीवन्मुक्तिर्मुमुक्षोः प्रथममथ ततः मुक्तिरात्यन्तिकी च तेभ्यः सा ज्ञानयोगात् गुरुचरणकृपापाङ्गसङ्गेन लब्धात् अभ्यासोऽपि द्विधा स्यात् अधिकरणवशात् दैहिको मानसश्च शारीरस्त्वासनाद्यः ह्युपरतिरपरः ज्ञानयोगः परोक्तः सर्वान्मूल्यकामान् हृदिकृतनिलयान् क्षिप्तशङ्कूनिवोच्चैः दीर्यद्देहाभिमानः त्यजति चपलताम् आत्मदत्तावधानः यात्यूर्ध्वं स्थानमुच्चैः कृतसुकृतभरः नाडिकाभिर्विचित्रम् नीलश्वेतारुणाभिः स्रवदमृतभरम् गृह्यमाणात्मसौख्यः So there were a couple of mails which came to me, wherein people were mentioning that it will be helpful. So if you can give the essence of the verse that has been taught to you. So you keep giving the meanings of various words, but you miss to give the essence of it. So if that can also be added, so that will be useful. A couple of people wrote to me with a request. So let me try to quickly do that for the last 3 verses, and then I will move on to verse 44. In verse 41, I was mentioning to you that it is essentially a summary of the Ishavasya mantra. Ishavasya, the first mantra. Ishavasya basically commences with the name of the Upanishad. In fact, the name is based upon the first word with which it commences. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Once what is stated in this verse, in the first mantra, is practiced by this person, then I told you that he is essentially Jivan Mukta. So then in verse 42, there is a beautiful simile which is presented in the Ishavasya mantra, which we will be touching upon today also. Nibhritarashanaya yadvadeta dvijihvaha. So tadvat prachadaniyam. So the statement is so emphatically stated. So you may have to hide the multiplicity that is seen by you with this one entity called Ishvara. Like what? So like you completely abandon the Sarpa, so in the wake of the knowledge that it is only Rajju. So that was stated. So then he will become a Jivan Mukta. And then this Jivan Mukta, so this was described in verse 42. So there are stages in which so this person becomes completely Mukta. So we discussed that. So then it was stated that it is through this Guru Upadesha that you gain this knowledge of this Atman. Guru Charana Kripa Panga Sangena Labdhat Abhyasopi Dvidha Syat. So Apanga Sangena Labdhat Abhyasat. So this practice into which you are going to involve yourself is through this Guru Upadesha. And this can be of 2 levels. One is Daihika, the other is Manasika. So this 2 was prescribed there. And then what does this person do? So when you say that Guru Upadesha, etc., what it essentially means is things which were really attracting you and taking all your attention throughout your life. So you slowly start dissociating yourself little by little from them and then start focusing inside. So this is what is being stated in verse 43. Sarvanunmulya kaman hridi krita nilayan. So the way you have to understand is, before meeting this Guru, so those kamas which were getting deeply rooted in you, like this Shanku, so after meeting this Guru, so you will start throwing this Shanku one by one. This Shanku is something which gets strongly rooted in your mind. Okay? Sarvanunmulya kaman hridi krita nilayan. By your old vasanas, whatever you are doing. Through this Abhyasa Vasana gained by Guru Upadesha, so you will slowly start removing all this. Sarvan unmulya kaman hridi kritanilayan kshipta shanku nivochaihi dhiryad dehabhimana त्यजति चपलताम आत्मदत्तावधानः. So it is, rather than focusing there, you start focusing here. So this is like, instead of using the key this way, you use the key the other way. So it opens up for you. This is something which has been beautifully stated in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. I was planning to quote this in the last class itself, but then for your reference, let me quote. And there is a example which has been stated in a much more beautiful way as to how you are able to drop these things. In Brihadaranyaka, 4th Adhyaya, this mantra also appears in Kathopanishad. So those who have read that, so will be able to quickly connect. So the same mantra, Tadesha Shloko Bhavati. He says, Yada sarve pramuchyante kamayesya hridishritaha athamartyo mrito bhavatyatra brahma samashnute atra brahma samashnute iti. See, this is the mantra you will find in Kathopanishad also. Kathopanishad has one more. This is towards the end of the 6th valli. Yada sarve prabhidyante kama yesya hridishritaha athamartyo mrito bhavati. So that goes on. But here there is another interesting, beautiful simile which is following this. Whenever in this Upanishad we find Tadete Shlokaha Bhavanti, so it means, so it is found elsewhere and it is sort of traditionally transmitted. So he just recounts Tadesha Shloko Bhavati. Having said this, Tadyatha hinilvayani valmike mrita pratyastha shayitaiva me vedag sharirag shete athayam ashariro mrito prano brahmaiva teja eva soham bhagavate sahasram dadamiti hovacha janako vaidehaha. This is a beautiful mantra. So some of us may be knowing that the term ahinirvayani is a little difficult to find in the literature, but Shruti employs in various places. Ahihi, as I told you, see here, Dvijihvaha, Ahihi. So all of them, they mean serpent. Nirvayani, so is the word that has been used. So Ahehe Nirvayani. Bhagavat Pada so says Nirmokaha. So Nirmokaha means so that which is being dropped. So Nirvayani, so basically stems from Ni and Li Dhatu. So this Liyate is the familiar form that we generally know. But then this is used, so Li Dhatu, Layati is another, Li Layati is another form. That which sort of dissolves, that which completely goes off, that is the meaning. That which sort of melts away. So this is the usage. So here this refers to the skin of the snake, the skin of the snake. So Ahinirvayani refers to the skin of the snake. So here he says Tadyatha Ahinirvayani Valmike Mrita Pratyastha Shaita. So sometimes it may do outside, sometimes it may do perhaps inside itself. So this serpent will leave the twak. So now this is used as a simile to convey this idea. As far as this person is concerned, yada sarve pramuchyante kama yesya hridi shritaha. So this kama is compared like this ahinirvayani. Ahinirvayani. Tad yatha ahinirvayani valmike mrita pratyasta shayita. So as it happens, evameva idam shariram. As far as so this mumukshu is concerned, so who is a jivan mukta, evameva idam shariram shete athayam ashariraha amritaha pranaha mritai brahmaiva. So here is a Bhagavad Pada, so brings in a beautiful statement. So I will just mention this to you. So then we will move on to the next verse. Here he says, moksha na deshantara gamanadi apekshate. It's a very interesting statement. So he said, jivan muktaha. So he says, moksha na deshantara gamanadi apekshate tasmad vidushaha na utkramanti pranaha. So when you say moksha, so it is jivan neva muchyate. So that is what he is referring to. Then he says, so this ahinirvayani I was explaining. So then Bhagavad Pada says, yevam ayam drishtantaha idam shariram sarpasthaniyena muktena anatma bhavena parityaktam mritamiva shete. So he completely leaves. So that is explained through this. See, anatma bhavena parityaktam. This anatma bhavena parityaktam is to be understood with the usage here, atmadattavadhanaha. Atmadattavadhanaha. If your focus is completely upon something, all other things just fall apart. See, so that is what he is trying to say here. See, anatma bhavena parityaktam mritamiva shete atha itaraha sarpasthaniyaha muktaha sarvatma bhutaha sarpavat tatreva vartamanopi asharira eva na purvavat punasashariro bhavati. So this is something which we may keep in mind. So when we read this verse, so this is a beautiful summary of what has been stated in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So that is what this verse is basically. So dhiryad dehabhimanaha. So all that you can see. So now you can relate that mantra, whatever has been stated there. Yatyurdhvam krita sukrita bharaha nadikabhir vichitram nila shvetarunabhi sravadamrita bharam grihyamana atma saukhyaha. So let me just quote one more mantra. In fact, so just after that we have tasmin shukla muta nilamahuh pingalag haritam lohitancha yesha pantha brahmana hanuvittasteni brahmavit punyakrittaijasascha. So here your nila shvetarunabhi. So all that. So once again we find here. So this is essentially, so this is not only in this Yoga Sutra, this is not only in Tantras. So this thought has been extremely popular in various other domains also. So that is why it is sort of quoted here, and he sort of summarizes. Some people describe it this way. Okay. Now we move on to verse 44. Prapashyad vishwamatmeti.
Prapashyad vishwamatmeti. Prapashyad vishwamatmeti.
Ayamiha purushaha.
Ayamiha purushaha. Ayamiha purushaha.
Shokamohadyatitaha.
Shokamohadyatitaha. Shokamohadyatitaha.
Shukram brahmadhyagachat.
Shukram brahmadhyagachat. शुक्रं ब्रह्माद्यगच्छत्
ब्रह्माद्यगच्छत् स खलु सकलवित् सर्वसिद्ध्यास्पदं हि विस्मृत्य स्थूलसूक्ष्म प्रभृतिवपुरसौ सर्वसंकल्पशून्यः
जीवन्मुक्तस्तुरीयम्
पदमधिगतवान् पुण्यपापैर्विहीनः So in the previous verse, so sarvan unmulya kaman grihyamana atma saukhyah. So grihyamana atma saukhyah. So this person who is described as Atmadattavadhanaha, so he became Grihyamana Atma Saukhyah. And once Bhagavad-pada came to this, he would have once again got reminded of this Ishavasya Shruti. So he started with that. So in between, so he moved on to describe what is Jivan Mukti and so what is other things. So then once again, as the Ishavasya Upanishad itself describes, so this Atmadattavadhana Purusha, so here he portrays that. So this comes in mantra 6, 7 and 8 of the Ishavasya Upanishad itself. So Prapashyad Vishwamatmeti. I'll just tell those mantras, so then we will return back to that. So if there is time toward the end of the class. See, this mantra goes like this. See, Yastu sarvani bhutanyaatmannevanupashyati sarvabhuteshu chatmanantato na vijugupsate yasmin sarvani bhutanyatmaiva bhudvijanatah तत्र को मोहः कशोक एकत्वमनुपश्यतः. This is seventh mantra. सपर्यगाच्छुक्रम कायमौ व्रणमस्ना विरग् शुद्धमपापविद्धम् कविर्म निशीपरिभूस्वयम्भूर्याथा तथ्यतोऽर्थान् व्यदधाच्छाश्वतीभ्यः समाभ्यः. Basically, you will see that this verse 44 presents a summary of these three mantras. So more or less, you will find the words that are employed here are the words which are there in the Isha Upanishad. So now let us see. Prapashyad Vishwamatmetyayamiha Purushaha. Ayam Purushaha. So who is this Purushaha? The one who was referred to in the previous verse. So Grihyamana Atma Saukhyah. Okay. So how is this possible? Because he is able to have this vision of Sarvam Brahma. So that is what he is describing. Prapashyat Vishwamatmeti. So what you have to understand here is the following. Atmadattavadhanaha, when you are trying to say, you try to understand the nature, the true nature of yourself. The true nature of yourself is one of Satrupatvam, Chidrupatvam, Anandarupatvam. So this is something which forms the basis for every other entity. So once he has this vision, so in fact the mantra says, Yasmin sarvani bhutanyatmaiva bhut. Vijanataha. What is this Vijanataha? Atma Swarupam Vijanataha. Otherwise, Atma Shariradi Vyatiriktaha iti Vijanataha. So, Yasmin refers to Yasmin Chetasi or Yasmin Kale. So, when this kind of a vision dawns upon this person, Yasmin Kale, Yasmin Kale Sarvani Bhutani Atmaiva Bhutu. So, Idam Sarvam Yadayamatma. So, this vision dawns upon him. That is what he is trying to say here. Prapashyat Vishwam Atmeti. So, what I see as Vishwam is none other than this Atman only. Okay? Prapashyad Vishwamatmeti. So, in the state in which he completely absorbed this to the point that it completely issues out into action. That is why he uses the word prapashyat, not simply apashyat. Prakarshena apashyat means, so it comes to Atmanubhava for him. Prapashyad Vishwamatmeti. So Ayam Purushaha, whenever he does that, Iha Shoka Moha Dyatitaha. Iha means here as he lives here. Okay, in this world. Shoka Moha Dyatitaha. Shoka Moha etc. are all gone for him. So that is what it says. Yasmin sarvani bhutanyatmaiva bhut vijanataha tatra komoha kashoka ekatvam anupashyataha. This is what is very important to understand. How can I get rid of shoka moha? Is the question that may arise to you. After all, if you analyze the shoka, what is the shoka? Shoka is a certain state of mind wherein you feel the separation of something. Okay? Or rather you feel the loss of something. Okay? So, Ishtajana Viyoga Janita Chitta Vaiklavyam. Essentially that is what it is. Ishtajana or Ishta Viyoga Janita. So we can say. For someone there may not be Ishtajana. Okay? So Ishta Papi may be there. Okay? Ishta Viyoga Janita. So whatever it is. Okay? So Ishta Viyoga Janitaha Chitta Vaiklavya Visheshaha Shokaha. So that is what we need to understand. So you reach a certain state in which you feel that there is something which is lost. So this is essentially Shoka. Now for him, Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Atmaiva Bhutu. Where is the question now? Ishta Viyoga. Everything is Atman. So only when there is some other thing which you see, so then, so I may have to get this, I may have to avoid this. So these bhavas will be there. For him, there is absolutely no way that shoka can be there. So this is what shoka is. So similarly, so moha is a similar state. In fact, shoka and moha, so muhyati iti moha. In fact, I was just reading some interesting verses which have been given by Sushruta. Okay, Sushruta in the context of moha. He actually describes 6 types of moha, but I will not get into that. But then I will just read. See, so these verses. See, Sukha dukha vyavohacha naraf patati kashtavati moho murcheti tam prahuhu shadvidha sa prakirtita samnyavahasu nadishu samnyavahasu nadishu. So avahati means something which fetches. So samnyavahasu nadishu. So this, so your response to something, so a response to some external stimuli is carried by certain nadis. Okay, avahati means that which fetches. Samnyavahasu nadishu. So pihitatvaniladipihi. There are some processes which arrest them. Pihita means something which is blocked. So these nadis do not go and trigger the final emotion in you, whatever it is. Okay. Tamobhyupaiti sahasa. So in that context, so this person experiences a certain blackout. Okay, don't say that Jivan Mukta has a blackout. So this, so the point is, okay. So tamobhyupaiti sahasa. This tamaha should not be understood as, so this do not create a certain stimuli in him. The emotional changes which normally happens. So it can lead to sukha, it can lead to dukha, it can lead to other things. But audasinya. Okay, so that is what he means. Tamobhyupaiti sahasa sukha dukha vyapoha kriti. Sukha dukha vyapoha kriti. So this fetches me ananda, this fetches me dukha. So these bhavanas are gone. So this is a state of muhyati. See, muhyati has various connotations that he will explain later. But this is a general description of what is happening. Okay. Sukha dukha vyapohacha naraf patati kashtavat. Okay. Patati kashtavat means he need not necessarily fall. Okay, like a stake. But he does not respond to the stimuli like a stick. Whether you switch on the light or you don't switch on the light. Whether you switch on the AC or you don't switch on. The stick is like that. Okay, as it is. Naraf patati kashtavat moho murcheti tam prahuhu. Okay. Moho tam prahuhu shadvidha saprakirtita. This goes on further. Anyway, the point is, the shoka and moha that we are referring to are two things which have got something to do purely with the mind. So here we find the usage shoka moha dyatitaha. So adi. So adi, what we need to understand is the shoka moha are manodharma. Okay. So later in the verse you will see that all Sharira dharmas also. So manodharma or Sharira dharma or prana dharma. Okay. So Janma Mrityu is another pair which has to do with the Sharira. Therefore they are described as Sharira dharma. So Ashana Pipase, so they are referred to as prana dharma. Okay. So whether it is manodharma or Sharira dharma or prana dharma, none of them affect him. Okay, so that is what is meant by shoka mohadyatitaha prapashyad vishwamatmetyayamiha purushaha shoka mohadyatitaha. Then he says shukram brahmadyagachat sakhalu sakalavit sarvasiddhyaspadam hi saha khalu sakalavit saha sakalavit kalu, either way you can just say. So the sakalavit means, so the one who is described by the term sarvajna. Okay, so sakalavit means essentially everything is Atman. You have understood as Atman and therefore you have understood everything. Okay, so that is the idea. Sakhalu sakalavit sarvasiddhyaspadam hi sarvasiddhyaspadam hi shukram brahma adhyagachat. Okay, so sarvasiddhyaspadam. So this is something which one can understand as either prarochana. It could be a fact, it is a fact also. So we have various episodes in our scriptures wherein a person who has gained this Atmajnana, so he is equipped to perform any of these siddhis. He may not perform, by and large he will not perform. But the Sarva Siddhyaspadam, so Aspada is basically the locus. Okay? So all the siddhis are available with him. Sarva Siddhinam Aspadaha. So what do we mean by this Sarva Siddhi? So they are generally 8 of them are Prasiddha. Okay, I will tell the verse, you know. Okay. Anima Mahima Chaiva.
Anima Mahima Chaiva. Anima Mahima Chaiva.
Garima Laghima Tatha.
Garima Laghima Tatha.
Tatha. Garima Laghima Tatha. Praptif Prakamyamishitvam. Praptif Prakamyamishitvam.
Praptif Pragam.
Praptihi Prakamyam.
Prakamyam.
Ishitvam. Praptif Prakamyamishitvam.
Praptif
Prakamyamishitvam. Vashitvam Chashtasiddhayaha.
Vashitvam Chashtasiddhayaha.
Vashitvam Chashtasiddhayaha. So these are called siddhis. Okay. So 8 of them are listed. So these, what do they mean? So this can be very simply understood. Anima, Mahima, Garima, Laghima. Okay. So Anima, in fact, we find this kind of siddhis even in Ramayana described. Okay. So Anima means taking a form which is very, very, very minute. Okay. So that you enter somewhere unnoticed. Okay. So Hanuman is supposed to have done that. Okay. So anyway, Anima and Mahima also is another opposite of that. Okay. So Anima, Mahima. So they refer to becoming too small in size, dimension. One refers to the dimension of it. So you make your dimension too small. Okay. And then you enter. So like this corona. So it is entering the body. So you cannot notice it entering. Okay. Anima. Then Mahima means becoming huge. Okay. You take a form which is really huge. So these are siddhis. Anima, Mahima. Then Garima, Laghima. They are again pairs of opposite. So this Garima stems from the word Guru. Guru means something which is becoming very heavy. Okay. So we say Guru Sharira. Guru Sharira means so Guru Shariram, Guru Shariram. That which is very heavy. Okay, so that is what is meant by Guru Sharira. In fact, we say Guru Bhara Kranta. See, Guru Bhara means so very heavy luggage on the head. Okay. So in those days, when you travel, so you may have to keep things on your head. Okay. So Guru Bhara. See, I am reminded of this. See, when I see this scholar, see, there is an interesting usage. This Guru reminded me this. There is an interesting phrase. Natatha badhate bharaha yatha badhati badhate. See, it's a very interesting thing. My uncle also used to say. So sometimes you put upon the heavy load, you transfer upon somebody. If you are working as a group. So there was some small shishya. Okay, so at one point of time, he transferred this upon the head of the shishya. So then he asked, so is it heavy? So they were like, he was unable to even spell that out. So it was so pressing upon his head. Now there is an interesting thing created out of this episode in Sanskrit. So this there are certain dhatus which are parasmepadi, certain other dhatus atmanepadi. Okay. So badhate is to be used in Atmanepada only. There is nothing like badhati. See, like karoti, kurute, both are there. Okay. So badhati is not there. So this fellow, okay. So apparently he was very smart. You think of the other way. Okay. So now that was the other episode. So you transfer something. So this is not very heavy. So he can just carry it. But this person who asked the other person, so badhati va? He asked whether it pains you. Okay. So that fellow was a Vayakrana. So he was a semi-Vayakrana. So he asked in enthusiasm, badhati va? So that reply was, na tatha badhate bharaha yatha badhati badhate. It's a beautiful thing. So this weight upon my head does not pain me that much as the usage badhati pains me. See, na tatha badhate bharaha yatha badhati badhate. Understand? So badhati. So I am reminded of this saying because I said Garima. Anyway, this Garima and seeing the scholars. Anyway, so this Garima essentially means, so you can make your body sound very, very heavy. In fact, this is again you will see in Ramayana. This Lakshmana's Sharira, it could not be lifted. Okay, so he falls because of some astra. And then this Indrajit fellow comes and tries to shake or something like that. Okay, that is the description if I remember correctly. He was absolutely unable to shake his body. So it became so heavy. So this is Garima Siddhi. Okay, Garima, Laghima. Laghima means making it very light. So the ability to make oneself light. The ability to make and then fly. So fly. So this guy, so since you said fly, the next is only like that. Praptihi. So this fifth siddhi is praptihi. Praptihi essentially means, so suddenly you think, you tuck, you fly and then you go elsewhere. Okay? In Manovega. So this is what is praptihi. So prakamyam is referring to, so this getting whatever you desire. Okay? So this is prakamya. Praptif prakamyam. Then ishitvam. Ishitvam is the ability to command. Okay. See, enjoying this power. Okay. Vashitvam is, so you just capture their mind. Okay. So sort of mesmerize and make work. So something like that. Okay. These are the 8 siddhis. So all of them are desirable. Okay. So there is this Ashta Siddhi. So Sarva Siddhyas Padam Hi. So this even Mukta can do all this. That's what. Sakalu Sakalavit Sarva Siddhyas Padam Hi. Then he says Shukram Brahma Adhyagachat. This Shukram is used to refer to Shubhram. So this Shubhram is the word that you will find in that Ishavasya mantra. Saparyagat. In fact, Shukram is also there. Say Saparyagat, Shukrama, Kayam, Avranam, Asnaviram, Shuddham, Apavidham. So the word Shukram is translated, Bhagavad Pada translate this as something which is Diptimat. Okay. So Shukram means Shubhram and he takes it to Diptimat. Why should you take to Diptimat? Because this Atman is essentially described as Diptiman. Why should you take it as Diptiman? Because this makes everything evident to you. Okay? So he is self-evident as well as makes everything evident to you. And therefore it is described as Shukram. This is Brahma Adhyagachat. He becomes one. Okay? Sakhalu Sakalavit Sarva Siddhyas Padam Hi. Then he says Vismritya Sthula Sukshma Prabhriti Vapurasau. So this is a more graphic description of this. So vismritya sthula sukshma prabhriti vapuhu. So prabhriti means beginning with that. So what is that? So you should include karana. See, sthula vapuhu, sukshma vapuhu, so karana vapuhu. So all of them are completely dropped. Vismritya sthula sukshma prabhriti vapurasau. Now you can recall, so that mantra also. See? So that is what. So this Ahinirvayani Valmike Pratyastha Shayita. So that is similarly this Vapu is all, nothing is noticed by him. Whatever happens, it doesn't bother him. Vismritya sthula sukshma prabhriti vapurasau. Then Sarvasankalpa Shunyaha. So Sarvasankalpa Shunyaha. So all these sankalpas which we do are essentially to fulfill the needs for this Sharira. You understand? So Vismritya, if you have completely forgotten this, then where is the question of making any sankalpa? The sankalpa is driven by kama and karma. So kama is gone, and therefore the sankalpa alone will prompt you. And this karma is also gone. You have to understand that this karma can be viewed as karma that is performed by you, karma which has given you this body. So kama karma both are gone when you say. So the karma which prompts you to engage in action, so that is gone. Okay. Vismritya sthula sukshma prabhriti vapurasau asau, this person, sarvasankalpa shunyaha. So he becomes sarvasankalpa shunyaha. Sarvasankalpa shunyaha. Then he says, Jivan muktaha turiyam padamadhigatavan punyapapair vihinaha. So you look at this. So Sarvasankalpa Shunyaha, the moment he becomes, it is a natural consequence that he will become Punyapapair Vihinaha. See, even as you engage in karma, so the karma will bind you only when you have the sankalpa. So sankalpa of the phala. So if that is dropped, so then obviously Naiva Kinchit Karomiti Yukto Manyeta Tattvavit. Tattvavit Ahankaromiti Naiva Manyeta. Which means there is absolutely no sankalpa. So it just happens. And obviously this results only from our perspective as if some action is happening. But so that kama, karma both are dropped. And therefore, the effect of it, which will be described as punya and papa, are not there for him anymore. Punya papair vihinaha jivan muktaha. Okay? So, punya papair vihinaha, so that is the description of jivan mukta. So, any act that is even performed, so because it is sankalpa shunya, so this is relieved of punya and papa, and therefore you describe him as jivan muktaha. Okay, so muktaha means relieved of any of the baggages that get tagged to us. Okay, so because of this sankalpas, jivan muktaha turiyam padamadhigatavan. This turiyam padamadhigatavan refers to, so these three states. So you leave this. So we were discussing the other day. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, and then the fourth. Okay. Turiyam padamadhigatavan. So he has attained this. Okay. So this is how this verse describes. Now if you just see quickly, so what is there in this this fourth mantra? Saparyagat Shukrama Kayam Avranam Asnaviram. So of the four mantras in the Ishavasya, first mantra, sixth mantra, seventh mantra, and the eighth mantra. This eighth mantra you can see. So see Saparyagat Saha Yathoktaha Atma Paryagat Pari Samantat Agat Jatavan Akashavad Vyapithyarthaha. Okay? So Saparyagat means, so idam sarvam yadayam atma, one this vision is there. So it is the same Atman which is pervading, and therefore Akashavat Vyaptaha. Okay? So that is the idea. Shukram Shubhram Jyotishmat Deeptiman ityarthaha. So now I wanted you to connect the what is stated here and what is stated in this verse. Vismritya sthula sukshma prabhriti vapurasau. See, this is a paraphrase of what has been stated here. How do we understand that? Akayam is the word that is employed here. Okay? Akayam. So this akayam, normally this word kaya is used to refer to this physical sharira. But here in this context, in fact, it is very interesting to see the derivation of the word kaya also. This kayam is used in very many senses. So there are some interesting sutras also connected with this word kaya. So this kayaha, in fact the word kam has several meanings. The word kam has several meanings, and therefore kaya, it can obviously have several meanings because it is derived from the word kaha. The general sense in which it is used is, see, so kaha plus an. So this is how this is described in the koshas. This kaha can refer to Prajapati Brahma. Okay. In fact, the word kam is used to even describe Brahman. Kam kham Brahma. Okay. Kam kham Brahma. So there, ka is used in the sense of Ananda, Aparimita Ananda. Okay. So to convey that Brahman is, this Atman is essentially infinite bliss. So you use the word kam. This Atman is all pervading, you use the word kham. Okay? Akashaha. Kam kham Brahma. Now this word kaya you can associate with either Sukha or you can associate with Prajapati. So this kaya is basically that which is connected with kam. Okay, so this is the overall idea. So in fact, this koshas will say the one which has Prajapati as Devata, Brahma as Devata. Okay, so this is how, in fact, there are special sutras which are devoted to by Panini to describe this word kaya. I will not get into those details, but all that I wanted to tell was, even if you just consider this physical sharira as kaya, so this is something which is connected with this Brahma, the creator. Okay, so because he is the person who sort of drives you, okay, to take this sharira as per your own karma. Understand? He is just a, so it is just that kind of a thing. So in that way also you can connect with this kaya. But here, what is more interesting to note here is, this kaya is taken by Bhagavad Pada to describe this Sukshma Sharira, not this Sthula Sharira. Normally, we say this Sthula Sharira. So here the context demands, the reason for spending some time in the word kaya is to convey this idea that it need not necessarily refer to this physical sharira. The derivation gives you to interpret the way you have to get it, and the context will basically fix the meaning. Now, if you read this commentary, akayam ashariram linga sharira varjitam ityartha. Okay, linga sharira varjitam. Linga is sukshma sharira, the one who is devoid of this sukshma sharira. So then you see, so that you can see sthula sukshma prabhriti vapuhu. Okay, so akayam. Now you come to avranam. Vrana means a sort of this physical cut, etc., which happens in the body, is what is referred to as vranam. Okay, vranam means, so everywhere if you find, so then you say vranam. Ingavaru ore vranam. Okay, so vranam, avranam means akshatam. Akshata is some sort of a damage which has happened. Okay, akshatam. Obviously, this has to be connected to sthula sharira. Because sukshma sharira, you cannot think of vranam happening. Avranam. Then asnaviram. The word snaviram refers to these various nerves, whatever, okay, which goes inside the sharira. Okay. So you can call it lymph, you can call it nerve, you can call it something else. Okay. So asnaviram snavaha siraha yasmin navidyante iti asnaviram. Then avranam asnaviram mityetabhyam sthula sharira pratishedha. So akayam mityanena sukshma sharira pratishedha. Avranam asnaviram ityabhyam sthula sharira pratishedha. Now one thing is remaining. What is that? Karana sharira. Okay. So shuddham nirmalam avidyamala idi karana sharira pratishedha. Okay. So the third, that is what is indicated by the word prabhriti here. Okay. So this mantra he has tried to paraphrase that. Iti karana sharira pratishedha apapa vidham dharma dharmadi papa varjitam shukram ityadini vachamsi pullingatvena parineyani. That is some other thing. Okay. So this eighth mantra in Ishavasya, so that has been sort of captured. Vismritya sthula sukshma prabhriti vaparasau sarva sankalpa shunyaha jivan mukta sturiyam padamadhigatavan punya papair vihinaha. Now let us read this. प्रापश्यद्विश्वमात्मेत्ययमिह पुरुषः शोकमोहाद्यतीतः शुक्रं ब्रह्माध्यगच्छत् स खलु सकलवित् सर्वसिद्ध्यास्पदं हि विस्मृत्य स्थूलसूक्ष्मप्रभृतिवपुरसौ सर्वसङ्कल्पशून्यः जीवन्मुक्तस्तुरीयं पदमधिगतवान् पुण्यपापैर्विहीनः. The word padam is used in various senses. So padam means a word. Okay. So and technically they will define suptingantam padam. Okay, so this is how the Vaiyakaranas will define. So either it has to have a sup suffix or it has to have a ting suffix. Okay, so ting means verb or it is noun. Sup suffix means suptingantam padam. But that is not what is to be understood. Padam also refers to foot. Padam also refers to 1/4. Okay, and here padam means so a position, a state. Okay, so the state is also referred to as padam. So tadrisham padam adhigatavan. Turiyam padam means so jagrat swapna sushupti. So then you go to the fourth state and that is described as turiyam padam. Okay, turiyam padam adhigatavan punyapapair vihinaha. Okay, so we'll stop here. Om सर्वे सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ओम